guess because of the push right there, kind of like a get off me a little bit. But she's holding it right there. Look at the hand checking, right? We got the hand checking going on the hip. Putting it on the chest. How you hand checking? You can't hand check. This isn't the 80s. What are we doing? Hold on, man. She's hand checking right here. Then Caitlin trying to get by, right? But her hand's still there.
Caitlin Clark delivered a revenge performance hotter than Indiana's summer humidity, flipping the game like her own Netflix hit and turning the dream into a nightmare for Indiana. After taking a tough hit days earlier, the Fever showed up with attitude, fire, and buckets, as if they'd finally read the basketball manual. The game was intense. Did she just silence the critics once again? Buckle up. This showdown was more explosive than a courtside nacho spill. Clark proved she's still the star, and the league better take notice.
CC gang, Fever gang. That's how you bounce back and get a W versus the Atlanta Dream. Hey, Ryan Howard, you ain't pointing to the bench and talking all now, are you? Go sit your goof down. Brianna Jones, all you do is scream, "Hey!" to try to get a foul. Sit your goof down. What happened to Kung Pao Pao Chicken? I thought she was cooking Caitlin Clark. Natasha Howard, absolutely fabulous game. That's how you ball and bounce back, man.
Rhyne Howard, just coming off a tough loss, chose not to hit the gym or sharpen her jump shot to bounce back. Instead, she boldly stomps right into Caitlin Clark's personal space as if settling an old parking ticket. Seriously, chill out. Caitlin, calm and collected, locks eyes with her and delivers the iconic line, "I'm not scared of you." Mic drop. The moment oozes confidence and fire, showing once again that Clark isn't backing down, and Howard's attempt to intimidate only fuels her rise.
Caitlin Clark and Ryan Howard get into it here. So Ryan Howard just... He was fouling Caitlin Clark the whole game, and is going into Caitlin Clark coming back to Ryan Howard. "I'm not scared of you." Saying that. And it's funny where it's like, people like these players hate each other. Like, Caitlin Clark and Ryan Howard have played on national teams together. Caitlin Clark and Ryan Howard played against each other in college. Caitlin Clark, I'm pretty sure there was a game where Caitlin Clark in the first half scored more points than Ryan Howard's team.
Ryan Howard's attempt to intimidate Caitlin Clark was about as effective as trying to roast a fire-breathing dragon with a sparkler, completely pointless and begging for a dose of humility. But that's what makes sports exciting, those moments when you realize you've chosen the wrong target to mess with. Howard's move only cemented Clark's legendary status, proving she's unshakable and ready to handle any challenge thrown her way.
And in case you're wondering what Caitlin Clark said just there was, "I'm not scared of you." She's going to have to wear a hard hat this season. I mean, seriously. The league is going to try to take her out.
Now let's talk about the game itself. Remember how just a few days ago the Indiana Fever got completely dominated by the Atlanta Dream? That game was so lopsided it felt like the Fever were just spectators at the Dream's highlight reel. But this time, Indiana didn't just show up. They arrived with the intensity of a triple espresso and a hunger for revenge. They played with purpose, energy, and determination, turning the tables and proving they're a team to watch. It was a comeback that reminded everyone why you never count them out.
From three for 5 from free throw, right? I thought when she missed that second one late, I thought that might have come back to bite them, but they held on. They made some smart plays at the end. Good job, CC. She heard y'all. She heard y'all. She heard y'all talking that smack, man. She heard y'all. But Natasha, beautiful game. 26.7 rebounds. Helped lead the Fever to a win.
From the moment the tip-off happened, the Fever played as if they were auditioning for a sequels to Revenge of the Underdogs. Caitlin Clark was everywhere, hitting threes with a fierce determination, slicing through defenders with moves that defied physics, and throwing confident glances that seemed to say, "Try and stop me." The Dream looked visibly rattled, as if they'd stepped into a hornet's nest while wearing a honey suit, uncertain of how to respond to Indiana's relentless energy. While Rhyne Howard's pre-game stare-down attempt stole headlines, the real excitement unfolded on the court. If you thought that intense glare was something, just wait until you hear how the Fever unleashed their fury. You can imagine the locker room before tip-off. Probably a fiery mix of a motivational pep talk and a WWE-style hype session. Coaches likely shouted, "They thought they could roll over us." Rhyne Howard thought she could scare Caitlin Clark. Joke's on them. Let's remind everyone who Indiana Fever really are. Natasha Howard definitely wasn't holding back. Probably flexing in the mirror and joking, "I'm the other Howard you should be worried about." Hyping up her teammates for the battle ahead.
In the game, Rhyne Howard was in Caitlin Clark's ass. She was giving her the business. Rhyne Howard had a great game. Her defense on Caitlin Clark was phenomenal. But ultimately, Indiana came out with the win. Just like Caitlin Clark had a pretty damn good game the last time they played, and they ended up losing. So it's funny how that thing works out. But in this situation, again, it's two competitors going at it. And as a Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever fan, let me say this and keep it a buck. Caitlin Clark talks cash shit. Caitlin talks a lot of shit. But
The Dream came out confident, perhaps still riding the adrenaline from their earlier victory over the Fever. But confidence alone wasn't enough against a team driven by a fierce desire for revenge, with Caitlin Clark emotionally charged and ready to dominate. She wasn't just playing basketball, she was orchestrating a mental game, with every three-pointer serving as a subtle dig at the Dream's confidence, and each slick assist a reminder who was in control. Speaking of assists, Caitlin's court vision was extraordinary. Her passes threaded through defenders with precision, creating opportunities for Natasha Howard and Sophie Cunningham to make some jaw-dropping shots. It was almost as if she had eyes in the back of her head, seeing plays develop before they even happened. Her ability to anticipate and set up her teammates was next level, almost magical. If she wore glasses, you'd swear they were enchanted, giving her a superhuman edge on the court.
Lexi, dope as always. Sophie, so good to have you back. Kelsey, clutch shot at the end. Dantes, fabulous game. I need more bun minutes, man. Put Dantes in the game more. Clark, you was a bricklayer tonight shooting, but you was doing other stuff, man, as the floor general. And I need you to make more of them free throws, Caitlin. But great job getting a W after the Dream beat us the last game. Good momentum to go in playing the Liberty coming up on Saturday. Still got stuff to work out, but we need games like this to get the chemistry going down the stretch in fourth quarters like that.
Natasha Howard served as the unyielding wall Indiana desperately needed to slow down the Dream's relentless offense. You know those moments when the opposing team pushes hard down the court, aiming for an easy score? When they're thinking, this should be an open bucket? Natasha made it crystal clear that wasn't happening on her watch. Each rejection was like a body slam, physically asserting her dominance and disrupting the Dream's flow. The paint was her domain, and she defended it with the fierce tenacity of a lion guarding its pride, making opponents second-guess every attempt to penetrate. Whenever the Dream tried to sneak inside, Natasha was always there, ready to swipe the ball away or gobble up rebounds with relentless energy. Her hunger on the glass was unmatched, as if she was just grabbing groceries instead of securing crucial rebounds. Except these were game-changing possessions. She didn't discriminate between offensive and defensive boards. If the ball was within reach, Natasha was the first to pounce. Her tenacious rebounding and shot blocking not only denied the Dream's second-chance opportunities, but also ignited Indiana's transition game.
But regardless, despite not shooting well, despite some, tough physical defense, the Fever are able to come away with a win. Natasha Howard was huge.
But Natasha's influence extended beyond her physical presence on the court. She brought a mental edge that intensified Indiana's defense. By consistently applying pressure and shutting down easy scoring opportunities, she forced the Dream players to second-guess themselves. The hesitation that crept into their minds altered their approach, turning what used to be confident drives to the basket into cautious, forced shots. Her relentless defense made it clear that penetrating Indiana's paint was a daunting task, forcing the Dream to adapt their entire strategy. Natasha's impact wasn't just reflected in her stats. Her presence fueled her teammates' energy. When a defender displays such fiery determination and intensity, it uplifts the entire team. Indiana's defensive efforts surged because they knew they had a warrior in the paint who wouldn't back down. The Dream faced more than just a player. They faced a fortress. Natasha Howard wasn't merely playing defense. She was redefining what it meant to guard the rim for Indiana. disrupting opponents with every epic block and rebound. Her mental toughness and physical dominance combined to make her a cornerstone of Indiana's defensive identity, inspiring her team and making her a nightmare for the Dream's offense.
The Fever avenged their loss by beating the Atlanta Dream 81-76. Couple things to note by looking at the statistics here is that the Indiana Fever surprisingly won the rebound battle, as well as points in the paint by doubling what the Dream were able to score in the paint. And I know it's easy to chirp the refs, but to have a combined 46 fouls is just too many in a basketball game. If we look at the Fever stats, Natasha Howard dropped 26 and had a phenomenal game. Kelsey Mitchell had 17, Clark had 11, Lexi Hall 10. But the real X factor is Sophie Cunningham. In her Indiana Fever debut, had 9.6 rebounds, 3 assists, and was a defensive menace all night.
And then there's Sophie Cunningham, who, by the way, was Indiana's secret weapon hidden in plain sight. When the game clock was winding down and the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife, Sophie stepped up in a big way. She wasn't just making shots, she was delivering clutch, game-changing baskets. The kind of shots that make announcers go wild and fans jump out of their seats. Sophie was like that dependable friend who always shows up when everything's on the line, except instead of offering moral support, she was dropping buckets. Her effort on defense was just as impressive. She was everywhere, stealing balls, hustling back to shut down fast breaks, and making life miserable for the Dream's offense. It was as if Sophie had a personal mission to ensure the Dream never felt comfortable on the court. You could almost hear her thinking, "Not on my watch," as she swarmed the ball and kept Indiana in control. Her relentless energy and courage made her a true game changer when it mattered most.
There is one thing that is very clear, and we talked about this. Sophie Cunningham is absolutely going to be a spark plug for this team. No doubt about it. She came in, instant hustle. Lexi Hull, instant.
The highlight of this game was how the Fever united as a cohesive team, playing with a relentless drive fueled by sheer determination and perhaps a touch of sweet revenge. While Caitlin Clark's extraordinary talent naturally drew attention, the true story was the collective effort of the entire squad. Every player contributed, stepped up when it mattered most, and demonstrated that teamwork can turn past heartbreak into a triumphant victory. The Dream, however, didn't go quietly. They fought back fiercely, trying to claw their way into the game's momentum. But each time they saw a glimmer of hope, a crack in Indiana's armor, the Fever slammed the door shut. Natasha's suffocating defense, Sophie's clutch shooting under pressure, and Caitlin's unwavering leadership kept the Dream at bay. Their confidence from the previous game rapidly evaporated, disappearing faster than snow melting in July. Now let's talk about Caitlin's legendary comeback moment. Her iconic "I'm not scared of you" line wasn't just a clever retort, it became a rallying cry. She transformed that moment into a burst of energy that fueled her every subsequent play. Watching her glide past defenders with that confident smirk was a masterclass in owning your moment and intimidating opponents. She wasn't merely playing basketball. She was schooling anyone who dared to doubt her. This game went beyond the scoreboard. It was a statement. Don't underestimate the Indiana Fever, especially when Caitlin Clark is on the court. She's a force of nature, unstoppable, fierce, and capable of wrecking your game plan if you give her the chance. And the irony? Rhyne Howard, who tried to rattle Caitlin with pregame trash talk and chest thumping, ended up on the losing side once again. It's like trying to scare a lion with a kitten's meow. Spoiler alert, the lion always wins. This game proved that heart, teamwork, and resilience are the real keys to victory.
But I'm tired of people talking about a rivalry. The only rivalry that we see for is young talent. Right now with Caitlin Clark, every time they play and it's a matchup and the game is electric and they're going tit for tat, is Rhyne Howard on the Atlanta Dream and Caitlin Clark on the Indiana Fever. We have to focus on the production, the on-court stuff. All the other fluff, all the other nonsense, all the other things is good for the league for marketability and merchandise sales, and that's great, that's fine. And when we talk about the viewership, that's cool. Clap it up. But what you do on the basketball court is eventually going to catch up to all the rest of that nonsense, because if you're not producing, if you're not hooping, if people aren't watching games and seeing one player produce another player produce, and things are one-sided, then all that other stuff, people are going to stop. They're going to stop caring.
Natasha Howard's defense was absolutely relentless. She wasn't just guarding players, she was shutting down entire offensive threats, blocking shots and forcing turnovers like a one-woman fortress. Her presence on the court served as a constant reminder that the Fever meant business and weren't here to play around. When the pressure was at its peak, she delivered shot after shot as if it was just another routine day, proving that the Fever's firepower extended far beyond Caitlin Clark's brilliance. So, what's next for Indiana? With Caitlin leading the charge, Natasha anchoring the defense with ironclad intensity, and Sophie hitting clutch shots with deadly accuracy, the Fever have established themselves as a formidable team ready to challenge anyone. The Atlanta Dream in particular might want to reconsider their strategy before stepping onto the court again, knowing the Fever are now a team to be feared.
Sophie Cunningham was huge in her return, and they just showed the toughness to persevere and get it done when it needed to be done. That's what a team that has aspirations of a championship does. So when you look at the game itself and some of those moments.
Absolutely. If the Indiana Fever's opponents believed that intimidation tactics or rough physical play could shake their resolve, they clearly underestimated the team's resilience and unity. The Fever demonstrated that they're more than just a collection of talented players. They're a cohesive, dedicated unit with one clear goal: to protect their star, Rhyne Howard, at all costs. Howard isn't just any player. She's emerging as a dominant force in the league, a powerhouse who commands respect with every dribble, every shot, and every moment she's on the court. This team knows that when opponents try to disrupt their rhythm through physicality or attempts to intimidate, it only fuels their fire. They thrive on that energy, transforming adversity into motivation to push even harder, play smarter, and defend their home court like true warriors. It's about more than basketball skills. It's about heart, resilience, and unwavering loyalty. Together, they rise as one, ready to shut down anyone who dares to challenge their shine and prove that their unity is their greatest strength.
Indiana Fever and Atlanta are the real rivals. They was battling it out tonight with the help of the refs. Natasha Howard must have heard what we were saying about her because she came in this game with 27 points. Kelsey Mitchell had 17 and Lexi Hall had 10. Miss Caitlin Clark had 11 points, but she was 0 for 5 behind the arc, and she was like 4 for 11. She was not having a good shooting night. Her and Rhyne Howard exchanged some words, and I actually really like that matchup.
Caitlin Clark is undoubtedly a remarkable talent, but Howard and the Fever made it perfectly clear: you don't target the queen without facing consequences. Every player on the court is ready to step up and support Howard, ensuring that any attempt to intimidate or rough her up is met with a fierce, united response. The Fever's performance wasn't just about winning a game. It was a bold statement, a powerful declaration that they're not just returning to the league, they're here to dominate. This match served as a lesson in resilience, confidence, and the strength of team unity. The Fever demonstrated that targeting one of their stars means challenging the entire team, and they're more than prepared to fight back with everything they have. Indiana isn't just playing. They're here to make a statement and take control of the game, showing everyone that they're a force to be reckoned with. If you enjoyed leaving a like and subscribing, more videos are on the screen now.